financial advice that works at 30 could be completely wrong at 60. Each stage of life comes with a different time horizon, different risks, and different decisions you may only get one chance to make. The problem is that most people are never told when their strategy needs to change. They keep saving, investing, and buying without knowing whether these decisions actually fit the stage that they're in. I'm Greg DuPont. I'm a certified financial planner and an estate planning attorney. And on this channel, I help families break the cycle of fragmented, reactive financial advice and build a real integrated plan. Stay with me, because at the end of this video, you'll know exactly what financial stage you are in, what you should be prioritizing at each one, and the specific moves that could protect everything you've built. If this kind of in-depth content is useful to you, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. Most financial advisors don't really talk to you about timing. They talk to you about products, annuities, mutual funds, life insurance, trusts, investments, all sold as if they belong in all stages of life. What actually drives sound financial decisions isn't a product, it's your time horizon. How long do you have before you need the money? A 28-year-old putting money into a retirement account has about 35 years before they need that money. A 62-year-old has a completely different set of priorities. And when the financial plan isn't updated over time, you get people who are aggressive in the wrong places, conservative in the wrong places, and some that aren't doing anything real at all. We're going to fix that today. There's 4 main life stages to think about in terms of financial planning. Each one has a clear time horizon, a clear set of priorities, and a clear list of what you get you into trouble. The first stage is the one people underestimate most because the dollar amounts feel small and the urgency feels distant. I hear this all the time. Greg, I just started my career. I'll get serious about this in my 40s, and that instinct is wildly expensive. Here's what's actually happening at this stage. Your time horizon is 30 to 40 years. That's the longest, most powerful runway you will ever have. Compound growth doesn't care about your income level. It cares about time. A 25-year-old who puts $200 a month into a broadly diversified account and leaves it alone does something that a 45-year-old with $500 a month cannot replicate. The math is unforgiving in both directions. So what are the useful priorities here? First, build a real emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of an actual living expenses in cash, not invested, not in a fund, liquid. Because when the car breaks down or the job disappears, the worst thing you can do is sell long-term investments at the wrong time to cover a short-term need. That sequence of events sets people back years. Second, if your employer offers a 401 match, that is a guaranteed immediate 50 to 100% return on your contribution. I don't care what the market is doing, you take that match. In 2026, the IRS allows you to contribute up to $24,500 into a 401k if you're under 50. At this stage, you may not be anywhere near that limit, but if you start, you build that habit is worth more than the actual dollar amount. Third, and this is where I see the most damage in my practice, you need to handle beneficiary designations from day one. Even a 24-year-old with a $10,000 IRA balance needs a named beneficiary. I've seen probate cases by accounts that small. It's not about the balance, it's about control. By your mid-30s, financial life gets complicated fast. And the complication is exactly the danger. You've got a mortgage, you've got kids, you maybe got aging parents starting to need your attention, and you're being pulled in 6 directions at once. This is a stage where fragmentation really takes hold. And most families in this range make their decisions reactively. They have a cousin that sells life insurance, so they buy products from him. They use TurboTax for tax preparation because they don't know any good CPAs. And they let their employer's investment guy keep running the 401k because they don't know there's a better option. The priority of the stage should be coordination. You need a tax strategy, an investment strategy, and an estate strategy that all talk to each other. Not 3 separate conversations, one integrated picture. Take, for example, a couple I'll call David and Maria. David is 42, Maria is 40. They have 2 kids, a mortgage, and about $180,000 across their retirement accounts. They're contributing to their 401ks, but haven't touched a beneficiary designation since David started his first job at 24. They don't have a will. They have life insurance through work, which disappears if David loses his job, and they have no long-term care coverage at all. That's not unusual. That's the average American family in their early 40s. The fix here isn't complicated, but does require someone looking at the whole picture. You establish your emergency reserve. You maximize tax advantage accounts. You build in protection, life insurance, disability coverage, etc. You update every beneficiary designation across every account, and you start a basic estate plan. A will, a healthcare directive, a durable power of attorney, a trust. That's not an overwhelming list. That's a finite set of moves that defends a lifetime of work. I want you to stay with me here, because stage 3 is the highest stakes window in your entire financial life. And most people walk right past without a second thought. This is a stage where the game changes completely and where the traditional siloed advice model does the most damage. You're close enough to retirement that decisions feel urgent, but far enough away that you still have time to act. And here's the thing most advisors aren't telling you. The years between 50 and 65 may be your single best opportunity to legally reduce the taxes you'll pay for the rest of your life. I call this the tax-free retirement window. Here's why. And here's why it matters so much. Most Americans in their 50s and early 60s have the vast majority of their savings in traditional 401ks and IRAs, pre-tax accounts, where Uncle Sam is a silent partner in every dollar. The National Institute on Retirement Security's 2026 report found that workers ages 55 to 64 have only 19% of their age-based savings target. But even the ones who do have substantial balances, those balances are ticking tax time bombs if nobody's done proactive planning. The specific move here is Roth conversion, taking money out of a traditional account during your lower income years before Social Security and required minimum distributions kick in, paying tax now at a known rate, and moving the balance into tax-free Roth accounts. Required minimum distributions start at 73 for most people. That gap between retirement and 73 is your window. If you let it close without acting, you'll lose it. Contributions matter here too. If you're 60 to 63 years old, the IRS has a special secure 2.0 super catch-up, allowing you to contribute up to $35,750 into your 401k. That window is age-specific and time-limited. If you pass through these ages without using it, you don't get it back. And this is a stage where estate planning stops being theoretical. Families in their 50s need to peel back the layers of the onion, update the will, establish or fund a trust, review the long-term care exposure, because a lifetime of work and saving can disappear if a long-term care event hits without a plan in place. You've crossed into the distribution phase now, and the psychological shift is profound. I hear this all the time from families when we first start working. Greg, I saved this money my whole life. I don't know how to spend it. That feeling, that fear about drawing down the accounts is one of the most common things I see, and it leads to a very specific mistake. People die with too much money in the wrong accounts. Morningstar's 2026 research put a safe withdrawal rate at approximately 3.9% for a 30-year retirement horizon. That's your planning for. That means a $1 million portfolio can support roughly $39,000 a year in withdrawals, adjusted for inflation, with reasonable probability of lasting 30 years. You build your spending plan around that number, then you coordinate the source of every withdrawal amount for maximum tax efficiency. Withdrawal sequence matters enormously. The standard approach, pulling from accounts with RMDs first, then taxable accounts, then Roth last, preserves tax-free growth as long as possible. But it's not a rigid rule. It depends on your bracket, your Social Security timing, and your estate goals. And estate plan is even more important in this stage. In 2026, the federal estate tax exemption sits at $15 million per individual. That reassures a lot of families, and it should, because you won't owe federal estate tax. But not owing federal estate tax is not the same as having a functioning estate plan. I've seen estates at $200,000 go through a nightmare probate because nobody took 2 hours to set it up. They didn't set up the right beneficiary designations, nor do they have the right basic trust structure. The legal fees alone consume 6% of that estate. 6%. Simply because the family thought their modest size made planning unnecessary. So to wrap up, 4 stages, 4 completely different sets of priorities. Build the foundation and start good habits in stage 1. Coordinate protection and tax strategy in stage 2. Use the tax-free retirement window aggressively in stage 3. And execute the distribution and estate plan in stage 4. If you're ready for independent guidance on exactly where you are and what your next move should be, reach out to my team at advocatewealthsolutions.com or give us a call at 614-408-0004.